Welcome to Motivation for Success, where we bring you powerful, unforgettable tales of bravery, love, and the transformative power of truth. Make sure to subscribe, so you never miss a story that might just change the way you see the world. Now, let's get into today's story. Imagine this: the courtroom is thick with tension on a crisp, gray morning. The air is so heavy you can almost feel it pressing down on you. Low murmurs ripple through the room, reverberating off the polished wooden benches as if the entire building is holding its breath. The judge's gavel lies still on the desk, almost waiting for the exact moment when it will unleash the truth and break the silence. Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more stories that will leave you speechless. What you're about to hear will blow your mind, because sometimes, just one voice is all it takes to change everything. In the defendant's seat, a man named Thomas West sits, shoulders heavy with the weight of his past and present. He's 39 years old, a father and husband whose life has been ripped apart by a crime he did not commit. 4 years ago, he was wrongfully accused of a robbery gone wrong, one that ended in tragedy. A case of mistaken identity. Despite his protests of innocence, the justice system had failed him, condemning him to a prison sentence while his family crumbled outside the bars. Today, he waits for a glimmer of hope, a shred of justice. Beside him, his wife Rachel sits with her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Her eyes are red-rimmed from days of sleepless nights, for years of sorrow that no amount of time could heal. For birthdays missed. For Christmases without him. For years in which their daughter Lily had asked, with tears in her voice, "Where's Daddy? Why isn't he home?" Lily is only 6 years old now, but she's wise beyond her years. She's been in the courtroom for every hearing, sitting in the back, observing quietly. Today, however, there is a fire in her eyes, a determination that could rival even the most seasoned of attorneys. Today, she is no longer willing to sit in silence. The courtroom settles into its routine as Judge Michael Harris, a respected man with decades of experience, prepares to continue the proceedings. He's seen countless cases over the years, and while he's known for his steady, composed demeanor, something about today feels different. The room is heavy with anticipation, as though everyone present senses the potential for a shift in fate. Thomas, though outwardly calm, feels his heart racing. He knows what's at stake. He's lived in this limbo for far too long. But nothing could have prepared him for what was about to happen. As Judge Harris raises his gavel to call the next witness, the unexpected occurs. "Your Honor," a small voice suddenly cuts through the tension, and the room goes still. Lily stands up from her seat in the back, her small frame trembling with resolve. She has no legal training, no understanding of the complex machinery of the courtroom. But what she has is something much more powerful: the truth, and a daughter's unwavering belief in her father. The eyes of the courtroom shift toward her, a murmur spreading as the tiny figure makes her way to the front. Her footsteps echo against the cold floor, a sound that carries the weight of the moment. Rachel gasps, reaching out to stop her, but Lily doesn't pause. Her tiny feet shuffle forward, and with each step, she seems to grow, her courage swelling until she's standing before Judge Harris, her favorite stuffed bear clutched tightly in her hands. She looks up at the judge, her green eyes filled with a blend of fear and determination. "Can I say something, please?" Lily asks, her voice trembling but firm. Judge Harris is taken aback, unsure what to make of this unexpected interruption. But his years on the bench have taught him to listen, especially when the voice before him is speaking from the heart. He gestures for Lily to approach. Rachel's heart skips a beat as she whispers for Lily to sit down, panic rising in her chest. "Please, sweetie, sit down. This isn't the right time." But Lily doesn't hear her. She steps forward, her gaze locked on the judge, her face set with purpose. Lily stands before Judge Harris, her hands shaking as she holds her bear to her chest. She looks up at him, her small voice carrying the weight of everything she's felt for the last 4 years. "My daddy didn't do it," she says, her words quiet but filled with conviction. He's not a bad man. He's my hero. There's a collective intake of breath in the courtroom. For a moment, it's as if time stops. No one knows how to react. Judge Harris looks at the little girl, his stern expression softening as he leans in. "Why do you say that, sweetheart?" he asks gently, his voice low and filled with curiosity. Lily's tiny hands grip her stuffed bear tightly, her eyes unwavering. "Because my daddy always tells me to tell the truth," she says. "He said he didn't do it, and I believe him. Don't you?" Thomas's heart swells in his chest as he watches his daughter speak, his eyes filled with tears. He's never felt more proud of her than he does in this moment. Rachel, too, can't hold back her tears as she watches her daughter, who, in her innocence, is the only one who has never doubted him. Lily isn't finished. "We don't have him at home anymore," she says softly, her voice breaking. "Mommy cries every night. I cry too. But Daddy always tells me to be strong. He says the truth always wins." She looks up at Judge Harris, her eyes wide with hope. "Can you please help us?" Judge Harris is stunned. The gravity of the moment hits him hard. It's rare for a child, especially one so young, to cut through the legal formalities and speak with such truth and clarity. The courtroom is silent, the atmosphere thick with emotion. Even the most hardened individuals in the room are moved. Lily continues, her voice quiet but full of emotion. "I've prayed every night for 4 years," she says. "I prayed for someone to listen. Will you listen?" A lump forms in Judge Harris's throat. He clears it, then nods, his eyes softening as he looks at the little girl. "I'm listening," he says, his voice thick with emotion. And in that moment, the wheels of justice begin to turn. Judge Harris orders an immediate review of the case's evidence. In a world where decisions are often made with little more than a glance, it's remarkable that the case had gone unnoticed for so long. But now, with the truth before him, the judge acts swiftly. The court staff searches through the mountains of files and documents that have been ignored for years, and then, they find it, a single piece of overlooked surveillance footage. Blurry, yes, but clear enough to show the real perpetrator committing the crime. The person in the footage looks strikingly similar to Thomas, but the evidence proves beyond a doubt that he was miles away at the time. The oversight had been catastrophic, a clerical error, a rush to judgment, a failure that had shattered a family. Judge Harris is livid. He orders Thomas's immediate release and demands an investigation into how this miscarriage of justice occurred. As Thomas is escorted out of the courtroom, his hands free from the cuffs that had bound him for so long, he drops to his knees and pulls Lily into an embrace. He holds her as if he'll never let her go. The fallout from this revelation is explosive. Thomas files a lawsuit against the state for $20 million, not just for the lost years of his life but for the emotional trauma it caused his family. He speaks out publicly about the agony of being separated from his wife and daughter, the sleepless nights in prison, and the heartache of wondering if anyone would ever believe in his innocence. But Thomas doesn't stop there. He uses his platform to highlight the stories of others who've been wrongfully convicted, people who don't have a brave little girl to speak for them. His case becomes a rallying cry for criminal justice reform, a call to action to ensure that no one else has to endure what he did. And Lily? She becomes a symbol of hope for all who believe in the power of truth and the innocence of the voiceless. She proves that even the smallest voices can carry the most powerful messages. In the end, it wasn't just the evidence that freed Thomas. It was the unshakable faith of a little girl who refused to stop believing in her father, who dared to speak up when no one else would. Sometimes, it only takes one voice to change everything. If this story moved you, consider spreading kindness today. You never know how one small act of courage can change someone's life forever. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Motivation for Success. We have so many more inspiring stories to share with you. Don't miss out, stay tuned, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.